So on today's Academy lesson, we're going to talk about one of my absolute favorite moves in all of card magic because of its versatility in the Kelly Ovette Master Move. Now, the Kelly Ovette Master Move is something that I've talked about before in the channel, and I've shown a couple of different applications of it. Today, I want to show you guys the move itself and a way of using it as a control. In the next lesson, we're going to talk about one of my favorite applications of the KO move. In this case, the automatic Marlowe bottom deal and some applications of that. Now, in my latest project, I did release a way of using the KO move as a production item where you're able to seemingly just produce a card by pushing it forward. Obviously, that's not the best application of it, but it's one of the possibilities with the move. The main application that I presented on the actual project is from a dealing position where you are able to, in the action of squaring up a packet, place a card that you want on top of that packet. That's something that I talked about in the actual project itself. However, once learning the actual move itself, you're going to see that the method for that is glaringly obvious. Maybe I just drop it as I do the, you see? Okay, so let's get into the actual mechanics of the move itself. So in this case, you're going to transfer the card to the right hand, and you're going to have a deeper grip on the cards than you would normally have them. The reason for this is because your fingers are actually going to be doing the action of separating this card from the rest of the deck. So because of that action, you want to make sure that your fingers are deeper than they would be normally, for example, with a biddle move or a biddle sort of grip. So you want to make sure that the fingers are a little bit deeper. Now also, I like to put my forefinger in the front just to brace the deck a little bit more. And make sure that you're angling the deck towards your body, just at, I would say, not completely towards your body, but I would say with the edge facing your chest. Because what that's going to allow you to do is to actually press with your fingers, your middle finger and your ring finger specifically, and you're going to be able to separate that card from the rest of the deck. Now, initially, once you do this move, you notice that from the front, that action is covered because of the deep grip that you initially had on the cards. Now, once you first learn this move, the hardship is going to be to only separate one card from the rest of the deck. That's going to be the hardship because you're going to notice that once you're doing it, your fingers aren't going to have the right strength. You're going to be separating multiple cards, and that's going to be a little bit of an issue. However, you're going to notice that with practice, you're going to be able to just separate one card from the rest of the deck each and every single time. Now, this seems like a move that doesn't really have a lot of applications, but this is a crucial move, at least in my card magic, because of how many applications you could have with this simple move of just separating this card from the rest of the deck. So one application that I've discussed before is a bottom palm, and this is something that I've taught before in the academy. But when you do the KO move, so in this case, you're separating that card from the deck, by using your thumb to clip the deck and keeping that card with the grip with the middle finger and the ring finger, by just simply taking the deck in the left hand, that card gets automatically palmed in the right hand. You see that? That's kind of it's a little bit of an automatic bottom palm. Of course, assuming that you have the Kelly Ovette Master Move down and you're not separating multiple cards, all you're doing is just simply transferring the deck to the other hand, and you have pretty much an automatic palm of the bottom card. Now, the actual application that I want to share with you guys today is based on a control by one of my favorite card magicians, Jean-Pierre Vallerino. Jean-Pierre Vallerino, I first came to know him from his work in World's Greatest Magic. It seems like I'm dripping water. See, I just conditioned my hair and there's water dripping on the close-up mat. But Jean-Pierre Vallerino was one of those magicians that I first saw on World's Greatest Magic, and he pretty much had this wonderful act where he was able to produce champagne glasses from just a normal, ordinary deck of cards. So he would do these very elaborate movements with the cards, almost like the cards were dancing, and he would produce champagne glasses. And at the end, he produced 4 champagne glasses, and then he did this wonderful little change at the end where it said the end. It was great. I'll link it below if I do find the actual original on YouTube. However, in that actual sort of performance, he had a move that I watched over and over and over again until I finally figured out what it was and how he did it. And I really, really enjoyed it since. And it's pretty much a switch of a single card. So the way this works is that you show a card, in this case, the 2 of clubs. And in the action of just dropping that card on the table, that card is now switched because the 2 of clubs is on top of the deck. It's a wonderful move. It's a great move. And it's one of these moves that it's just it flows so nice because you're apparently just letting that card spin out of the deck. However, you've changed it for another card. And it's very, very easy to do with the Kelly Ovette Master Move. So what you do here, let's assume you want the bottom card. You're going to swing cut. And as you show, so you're using your finger here to flip over this card. This allows me to have a little bit of a deeper grip, again, so I could do the KO move here, the Kelly Ovette move, with my right hand. I'm using my forefinger to turn over that card to display it. Now, as I use my forefinger to turn that card over, what's going to happen is that my right hand is going to come over the deck, and my ring finger and middle finger are actually going to contact the lower right corner of that card, the lower right corner of the card that I have separated from the right hand. Now, what's going to happen is that that card is actually going to spin out. So I'm using these fingers to spin that card out onto the table. The illusion is pretty much solid that that is the card that you just displayed to the spectator. So the illusion here is that you've shown the 8 of diamonds. In the action of turning it over, in one move, you're just allowing that card to spin out and drop on the table. So from this angle, it looks a little bit like this. You have, in this case, the Joker. And in the action of turning it over, I have the Kelly Ovette. I'm exaggerating, by the way. You don't need to separate it this far like you're doing some sort of clip shift. But you could just get away with separating the card not that much. You don't even have to separate it that much from the deck. I'm exaggerating for the point of explanation here. But you turn the card over, have the card come in contact with your ring and middle finger, and just let it spin out once. It's going to rotate once as that card lands on the table. Now at this point, you could do a number of things. That card is now switched. So pretty much if you want to use this to supposedly drop a card on the table and then continue on with another trick, knowing that that card is on top of the deck, you're more than welcome to do that. The way you do that, you do the switch move, and then I'm placing the left-handed packet on top of the right-handed half. So that ensures that that Queen of Spades is on top of the deck. Another way to do this is with a spread. So you could have a card shown, in this case is the 4 of Hearts. You do the switch. These cards you now spread on the table. You could then take this card, place it here out jogged, spread the rest of the cards, square everything up, and of course that card is controlled to the top. The way we do that is we show the card. In this case, it is the 4 of Hearts. We execute the switch move. So we're going to execute the switch move here, dropping that card on the table. Now we're going to use this right hand and spread the cards, making sure that they reach approximately the center of the table. Then we take the card, we place it in the center, out jogged. We could then take the rest of the cards and finish the spread. So now the illusion is that that card is in the middle of the deck. So when we square it up, of course, that card is controlled directly to the top. So it's a wonderful move, and that's just one application. So in this little tutorial, I've shown you guys not only a way of doing an automatic bottom palm, which again, I've taught you before, but in just doing a wonderful little switch with this little simple move of separating the card from the deck. That's all you're doing. You're just separating the card of the deck with your fingers, and that's pretty much all you need to be able to do this wonderful move. And the application that I shared on my project, just to give it to you guys here, is a little bit of a force. So I'm just going to teach that briefly here. You have the card you want to force in the bottom. So you have the spectator call stop as you deal. And you're making sure to deal in a little bit of a haphazard pile. You don't want to deal in a neat pile squared up. You want to make sure that the cards are in a little bit of a staggered fashion. And now, in the action of transferring the deck to the right hand, I get ready for the KO move here, the Kelly Ovette move where I separate it. And now in the action of squaring up the cards, I'm just depositing that card on top of the deck as I square up and pinch the corners. So from this side, the spectator calls stop wherever it is that they want. Let's say they call stop over here. Maybe they name a number. Of course, I transfer the deck to the right hand and I squeeze. I do the actual squeezing action. So now in scoring up, I just deposit that card on top of the deck, and that pretty much allows that to be a force card. So if you want to do this with multiple packets of cards, you're more than welcome to do so if you want to do this with the 4 aces. But what I do like about it is that there's a reason why my hands are coming in there, and it's to square up the cards. So it's not like I'm doing any sort of action that's out of the ordinary. If I want to transfer the deck to this hand and square it up, that's how I would do it. So by just simply adding the KO move to that, their Kelly Ovette master move, it allows me to deposit a card on top of that very, very discreetly. So that's just another application. But I just wanted to include that there for the sake of completion here. So that is the KO Kelly Ovette master move. In the next lesson, I'm going to show you guys an application of that move using the automatic Marlowe bottom deal, which is a fantastic move. And you're going to see that it has a plethora of applications. But I really hope you guys enjoyed that academy lesson. And I'm going to go dry my hair. And I hope to see you in the next one.